Hello everyone. Hello, welcome to my channel. I don't think anyone is actually watching, to be very honest. Just only me. Oh, right. Oh yes. So, Prince Philip, rest in peace, rest in power, mate. Not sure if you guys are on Twitter. Oh, they got all these horrendous comments from UK Twitter, Black Twitter, and Irish Twitter. I'm not sure actually how many of those people are actually from the UK or are Black or Irish. To be very honest, even if we talk about Irish, we talk about the DUP or Sinn Féin. Sinn Féin. What I think is, because Prince Philip, he had never really broadcasted his accomplishments. He was very old school. He didn't want to boast about his accomplishments or achievements. He got loads. I mean, actually, until today, I don't know how much he had done really for quite a lot of worthy causes. He helped set up the WWF. He set up the Duke Edinburgh youth scheme that has helped millions and millions of kids around the world. But unlike Americans or unlike Meghan Merkel, he wouldn't go around broadcasting, telling everybody how great, how much he had, how much he fought against the fascists, the Italians during Second World War. Okay, he wouldn't go around broadcasting that. I think it's that most people just remember, I guess, his rather colorful jokes. And yes, I know some of them are quite cringy, really cringy, but he's from that era. What I'm saying is, there was no malice behind those gaffes or jokes, whatever you call them. You've got to look behind the wording. Sometimes you have to look behind the person's intention, right? I mean, in my life I've met so many people, they under the facade of flourished language or they could be very, very PC, but actually you could feel the edge, you can feel the knife, through that veils of polite language. They could be really mean, actually. So I just what I'm saying is please, people, read something. You don't have to read his biography of it. I thought the obituary on The Economist was quite well written. It was short, to the point. Of course, there's a couple of books being written about him. Surely feel free to read them. Yeah, I don't think he was he wasn't malicious. I mean, those generations, and even actually now, I mean, yes, there has been this view that certain elements of the West are more superior than non-Western civilizations, but at the same time, there are elements from non-West civilizations that are way more superior than the West. What I'm saying is, well, I mean, sorry, I'm kind of digressing a little bit here, but I mean, he did a lot of good. I guess is what I wanted to say about Prince Philip. And yeah, I mean, right now I think we should all just rally behind the Queen. 73 years of marriage. That's, I mean, a way that don't you think that's also very lovely to, having someone going through life with that particular person, for the good and all the bad, for 73 years. That's quite something. I'm old school myself in a way. It'd be nice, to be with someone for that long. The second thing I want to talk about is, but without divulging too much information. So I've been here for almost 3 months now, and I recently got the piano visa, and finally, just all the boxes, all the errands that I have to do, quite a lot of things to, even though you just walk around the block, walk around the neighborhood, there's so much to see in this beautiful city, London, and the architecture, and I couldn't wait. I couldn't wait for all the museums and galleries to open. My goodness. What else do I want to talk about? Yeah. Well, okay, let's just, I was going to read a poem today. I was reading Milton's Sonnet 23. Yeah, Milton, I know. I mean, I guess it's something that I've always wanted to read, the 17th century. But, oh my goodness, it's quite difficult, not easy at all. I really couldn't wait until I can't wait, to read the romantics and the modernist. At least on one hand, it's just, it's much easier to understand. Milton's work is just so difficult. So I'm not gonna, I don't think I could read, all the Paradise Lost and Paradise Regained. I'm just gonna I'm really skimming, just skimming here and there. But anyway, enough gibberish. Sonnet 23. Methought I saw my late espoused saint. Methought I saw my late espoused saint, brought to me like Alcestis from the grave, whom Jove's great son to her glad husband gave, rescued from death by force, though pale and faint. Mine, as home washed from spot of childbed taint, purification, dear O Lord, it save, and such as yet once more I trust to have full sight of her in heaven without restraint, came vested all in white, pure as her mind. Her face was veiled, yet to my fancied sight, love, sweetness, goodness in a person shined so clear as in no face with more delight. But oh, as to embrace me she inclined, I waked, she fled, and day brought back my night. So this is a sonnet. It's got 14 lines. Most of the poem has the iambic pentameter. So da-dum, da-dum, da-dum. Methought I saw my late espoused saint brought to me, like, and so when you read poetry, when you read, sonnets like this, these classic works, right? I mean, classics not in terms of the Greek and Roman, not classics, but talk about the classic stuff that you read, at if you majored in English. That's what I'm saying here. It's so congested. It's the meanings are so compact, right? And you really have to, you can't just really it's not a page turner, really. You read one song a day. Okay, you need time to understand it, to digest it, and to really savor it. In a way that is a bit like, eating high quality food, or you're not gonna devour the text in one go. Okay, you read it slowly, you understand it slowly. Well, at least that's how I approach it. Right, so let's just take a quick look at the poem. I hope that I could have just, I'm going to copy and paste in the live chat. Oh, where is it? Live chat. Okay, can I? Nope. Edit. Okay, here we go. Milton. 123. Okay, so I've got the sonnet in the description box. Right, so I'm just going to quickly take a look at the meaning. All right. So I think I saw my late espoused saint. So remember Milton, Milton was a Christian. Espoused. So he was talking about his late wife, and he literally referred to her as the saint. Not as what we understand today, like, oh God, you saved my life, like you my saint. No, not that. Like saint as in, in the deepest religious Christian sense, like saints. Brought to me, okay, like Alcestis from the grave. So Alcestis is this Greek in Greek mythology, is this Greek goddess, who died, and then Jove's Greek son. So it was Zeus' son Hercules who brought her back to her husband. Okay, so it's just very interesting here. We've got saints, we've got the Christian part, and then here it jumps to the classical part. We have the Greek, classical element in it, and then rescued from death by force, though pale and faint. Okay, so take a look at the color here. We have pale and faint. Of course, it rhymes with saint. So here we have A, B, B, A. Okay, and goes on. So mine means my wife, as home washed from spot of childbed taint, purification in the O Lord is safe. I thought the second line of the second stanza, or the line 6, purification, quite a lot of syllables going on there. It adds to the weight, the gravity of the situation. And you ask me, what are you talking about? What situation? Well, so Milton's wife, she died after her childbirth. I think she died a year after giving birth to their child. So back then, as you can imagine, pregnancy, pregnancy, the whole delivery, the process was thought to be, sinful and whatnot, not clean. Okay. So my wife, okay. So and then here we jumps back to the old law. The old law here is Old Testament. Okay. The Old Testament, and then we jump back to the biblical reference again. Okay. Mine as home washed from spot of childbed taint, purification the old Lord is safe. Okay. So here he said, well, my wife, who was purified and washed, okay, from that, from the dirty process of pregnancy, okay, which killed her, right? Okay. I think here you could feel a sense of, Milton probably was quite resentful, I think, because his wife died because of bringing another life, bringing his child to this world, and maybe he was regretting it. And such as yet once more I trust to have full sight of her in heaven without restraint, and such as yet once more. But then I trust that one day when I'm in heaven, I could see her in full sight. Okay, remember Milton was blind then, and actually Milton met and married his wife while he had been blind. Okay, isn't that lovely? And then here Milton seemed to believe, and Milton believed that once after he died, he would be able to see his wife in full sight. That Milton himself, heaven, would wipe away all his physical impurities, impairment, his blindness, that he would be able to see his wife in his full glorious sight without restraint. Okay, and then came vested all in white, pure as a mind. Her face was veiled, yet to my fancied sight, love, sweetness, goodness in a person shined, so clear in no face with more delight. So she came vested in all in white. So, and then here we've had the description again. We've got these colors. We've got pale and we've got white. She was all dressed in white, but the word and then pure as a mind, white as of course it means purity. And also what does it mean here? It means that she was yes, that's right, you got it right. So she was the bride, right? She was the bride wearing white. White is a symbol of purity, her body and her mind, pure as a mind. Remember, I think the word mind back then meant the combination, the body and the spirit, body and mind. Okay, so it doesn't only mean mind as we as the word mind is perceived now in 21st in modern English. Her face was veiled. Veiled here again, another symbol of her status as a bride. Okay, her face was veiled, yet to my fancied sight. The word again, sight, is very interesting. Remember, because fancied here doesn't mean that, oh, I fancy him. Fancied means imaginative, right? So Milton in his dream, he he could see his wife, while when he was not dreaming, in his real life, he had never seen his late wife, right? Remember that he had never seen his late wife, but then in his dream he could see his late wife coming in as a bride. Okay, so yet to my fancied sight, and it's interesting that only when he's dreaming that he was able to see, okay, that he could regain his eyesight. Okay, to imagine what his wife looks like without actually even having been able to see her in real life, because remember he had already been blind when they met and they married. Yet to my fancied sight, love, sweetness, goodness. So she's the allegory of love, sweetness, goodness in her person shine again. So reference to light shining, brightness. Okay, light. We have light in the sonnet, contrasting, bringing out the reality of Milton's blindness in his real life. Okay, so clear as in no face with more delight. And then so all these goodness, these good attributes in her person, literally, physically shining, coming out so clear. I've seen no face with more delight. There's no other face more delightful than my wife's face. Interesting, the word delight. It's got the word light into it, isn't it? I guess we always like delight. 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 Anyone likes to take up the etymology of the word delight? Does it have something to do with... Anyway, so, but as to embrace me, she inclined. So the last two lines probably have way more actions than these the lines above. Very compact. A lot of things packed in these two lines. But exclamation mark. Embrace, as to embrace me, she inclined. So the in his dream, so she was about to... So he was sleeping on the bed. She was about to embrace him, right? And they were, when they were about to touch. So it's that moment that you've probably seen so many times in movies or on the television, right? So when the men and women are about to kiss, and then there's a bang, there's a distraction, okay, happening in the background, and then the men and women were distracted and then they look at something else, or that even the little gap. We're a bit far-fetching here, but Adam's finger and God's finger is about to touch, right, on the Sistine Chapel ceiling. So they were about to embrace. Okay, it's best thing. But then, of course, but he would be embracing a ghost. But the thing is, because the spirit, you cannot. There's no physical embrace between a spirit and a physical person. So when that was about to happen, well, he had to wake up. Okay, so I waked, and then she fled as well. Fled, not simply, I don't know, not gone. Remember, okay, not disappeared, but fled. But fled. Just there's this quickness here, right? This pace, and they brought back my night. Okay, and this line is just so beautiful. So when he woke up, right, it was daytime outside, so day. But then here, why would normally? Why would they brought back his night with his bright outside? Remember, yes, it's because remember Milton was blind, so in his dream he could see daylight. He has his visual memory. He could imagine light, what light is like, how beautiful, how warming, how heavenly, how pure it is in his mind, in his dream. But then back into reality, when he woke up, the daylight in reality wouldn't be able to reach him. Okay, so daytime, nighttime for him outside will always just be nighttime. Okay, and they brought back my night. And just the last two lines here, the last line, I waked, she fled, and they brought back my night. They're all monosyllabic, and I thought it was quite powerful. Okay, and they brought back my night. So it ends on a sad note as well. Okay, so here's my very preliminary reading of Milton's Sonnet 23. Okay, so I think that's enough for today. 24. Okay, all right. So I don't know. I don't think anyone actually looking at it at all. So who is looking? No one actually. No one is was on here. I mean, anyone here though? No one. Okay. Well, that is fine. So okay. Well, all right. So I will see you next time. Bye.